3, 2,
Oh,
1.
live, and we weren't even just making sure everyone's ready to go live, because you know the first show went really well. Fine, like,
we're live.
Yeah.
All right.
So not still live in the top corner of your screen, hon.
Oh yeah, but I was too busy looking at Sam.
Well,
What was I doing?
Nothing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out this intro sooner or later, because I just don't know what goes on at this point. I really don't. But let's crack on. How is everyone? Because I'm really good, actually. I've had a really good weekend. Had, a couple of drinks last night, a couple of gins, but I'm clearly not as hungover as Sam. I'll let Sam tell you what she's been up to today, because there was some chocolate tequila involved and a 7 o'clock get out of bed time. So, I'll let Sam tell you what was going on there. But yeah, I had a good weekend. How about you lot? Are you all good?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely amazing. Like, literally, I genuinely thought my weekend was going to be ruined. I hate games on a Friday, because if we lose, then I'm just like in a mood the rest of the weekend. But I'm like full on buzzing. I have no idea what day it is at all, but I'm absolutely buzzing.
Well, that's just a norm for you, so I don't know, what's going on.
What, to be buzzing or not know the day?
Not know the day.
Yeah, it's true. And I went to the gym. I actually got off my fat ass and went to the fucking gym.
Wow.
I know, right?
I could not do that. Genuinely, I could not.
I won't be able to walk at all tomorrow. I'll look like an absolute idiot. Well, as normal, but still, I'm well impressed with myself.
That's good. So, Sam, what did you get up to at the weekend? Last night, just let everyone know what you got up to and involving.
Nothing. Just quiet night at home. Yeah. So our bars finally opened for outside service. So I went into town with one of my best friends, and yeah, got really drunk. And it rained the entire time. There were queues everywhere, but the worst thing, and this is where the chocolate tequila came from, is that a lot of the places have an app that you order drinks on.
Okay.
So I would order some drinks, my friend would order some drinks, but when she orders drinks, she always get a little surprise. She's like, there's a wee surprise coming. And I'm like, is it tapas? I mean, are we going to be eating at some point? But no, so yeah, chocolate tequila. And the guy that served it, he was like, yeah, it's just like drinking Cadbury's. It is not like drinking Cadbury's at all. It's like dark chocolate. But yeah, so there were shots, there was gin, beer, whiskey, 2 whiskeys. Don't know where that came from.
Wait, now I'd still be in bed for like 2 days.
Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, apart from walking the dog, I walked the dog, I came back home, I got some food, I went back up to bed.
That sounds like the idea of
my day. Yeah. So then I was like,
when you don't have a 3-year-old that I would have to get up for, my nightmare. Like, honestly, I could not cope. I would just be crying my eyes out all day.
Oh god.
So yeah, that was my weekend.
I genuinely don't know how you can do chocolate tequila. I can't do tequila as it is.
I was going to say, I don't even like tequila. Find chocolate tequila. No,
I liked it.
But
you can get rosé tequila as well. That's sweet. It's like a pink, thick color. But yeah, I'm just not of an age of doing shots anymore. It's. I need to be more responsible.
Even I'm not at an age to be doing shots. I think that the shot train left me at 21-year-old. Like when like honestly, I really think it did. Like 5 years ago, I think the shot train left me then, because Boxing Day, Christmas Boxing Day, after I'd just had like on Boxing Day, our families normally have like, you can't hear when I'm so very sorry, Queen. I'm here, like she can't hear herself, so now she's getting on it. I have to wait. And Boxing Day, we always have like leftovers from the like Sunday dinner the day before. We have like a big buffet of like, and like my step-grand does like salmon and like all the different stuff. So I'd had like a huge dinner, went out, got dared to do 10 shots of tequila in a minute, right? So you can clearly tell how that went. And I have never tequila ever since. I opened my bag to be sick in it because I didn't want to be sick on the floor in front of everybody. So I opened my clutch bag that, by the way, I'd just got for Christmas the day before. Opened my clutch bag and was sick inside my clutch bag.
Wow.
Lovely. What a wonderful Christmas story that was.
I know. Like for Christmas Christmas spirit, that's where we're at. Obviously, Greg's asking how's the hangover, Sam. So you know you've answered that one for him, I think. Oh, I'm just clicking on your comments, guys. Fantastic win. You look more dangerous on your way home. Well, on that note, Doug, thank you for tuning in. By the way, we will get on to the game because you know that happened. Oh.
I dropped my phone. That might have been an actual representation as to what happened during the game.
That you like flipped over. We can all tell how excited Katie is about it. So do you want to start, Katie? What were your thoughts on the game yesterday? Not yesterday. Friday. God, my days mashing into one. What was your thoughts on the game on Friday?
Well, I was beyond shocked. I was so convinced. I'd even put a tweet about the fact that Vardy was going to have a field day with us. Saw the lineup and I was just like, crap. And I was like, no. And I was like, Shelby, not running. Willickstein, that's not going to do anything. It's going to be dull. Fucking first game back that I'm off my match ban and I'm going to be bored. My brother messaged me and he's like, you off your match ban? Are you excited? And I was like, no. And he's like, and then the next minute, oh my God, who the freaking hell? What happened? Like, literally, like, I just was like, no, this is all bollocks, this. What the fuck? Like, oh my God, I absolutely enjoyed every single second of the first half. The second half gave me probably 25 mini heart attacks. I didn't know whether I was holding a pillow. I didn't know whether to put it over my face to watch it. I didn't know what to do. And my stream was behind. So I missed the first goal when it was celebrated on Twitter. I think me and Sam tweeted at some point and I was like, it's not gone in. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I'm there obviously behind on my stream. It's only on my Sky, only on Sky Go, so I don't know why it's so far behind. And then I'm like, have the ball in the whistle, have the ball in the whistle. And then they said about the extra time and I was like, no, I can't handle it. Because as soon as that Leicester scored first, I thought, no. Don't do this. And then the second I was like, no, stop it. And then I was just like, oh, but we played with a different mentality and it was beautiful to see. And it was everything that we've wanted to see for so long. So I was beyond happy. In fact, I'm pretty certain that the phone going everywhere happened during the game as well. So unreal scenes. Absolutely loved it.
I would quite expect it. But obviously, as you say, the mentality was for me was completely different. Like it was just so different on Friday. Like it honestly looked like a completely different team. Fair enough. I must admit, Johnny Evans getting injured in the warm up was probably a blessing in disguise. Oh, Katie, man, she's overexcited that she's back on this show. Look what's going on.
I'm going to put you down there.
Oh, Amish. And obviously, Johnny Evans getting injured in the warm up was a blessing in disguise for us because I think for some reason Soyuncu and who else in the back for Fana literally had no idea where they were meant to be at any point. Soyuncu literally fell over like about 3 times because he was just tracking back and didn't have a clue what was going on. Was just all over the place. So yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Sav, what did you think? I know obviously we've all spoke since Friday, but for everyone who's watching, I think they'll want to sum up the game in a few short sentences for us.
It's me. Oh, it's Sam. Sorry. Our names are so close.
You go, Sav.
No, I need to compose my thoughts, but our names are so close that I sometimes mishear.
Yeah, it was a really good performance, completely unexpected. Same thing about the lineup. Just thought, my God, what are we doing? But in terms of a performance, all we've wanted the team to do is press and pass the ball forward quickly. That's what counter-attacking is. We claim that's the kind of team that we are, and we just don't do it. So it was fantastic. You know, it was the closest I've seen to a Rafa counter-attacking performance since Rafa, to be honest. So yeah, it was good to see players getting their heads up and really just trying to keep the ball away from our goal, which is how we need to play football, because when it gets near our goal, it's just all sorts of calamities. And you know, Kraft almost cost us a goal through a stupid mistake. But good to see pressure's off now. don't particularly care about the Man City game because I don't expect anything. But it gives me hope going into Fulham and Sheffield United as well that we can give a good account of ourselves and keep players fit. You know, Almiron looked happy. Everyone just looked happy, and it was a great performance. So I hope to see at least another one or two of those before the season's out.
Tell you what I loved about it as well. I think it was Wilson said on his post-match interview that he was like, that we need to go into it not thinking we're probably not going to get anything. And the fact that we need to go into it and we need to think we're going to get something from it. And that's what we all shouted about, the beginning of the season for so long whatsoever. And you can tell the way that if they go into it with mentality, they play really well. When obviously we play City are obviously on fire. But if we pull up a great performance like that and we get beat or we draw or we magically manage to get something, I'll be beyond happy just because I like to see us play decent football. But I think we still need a hell of a lot of work at the back because Dubs was basically getting us out of a lot of issues as usual. And you could see how pissed off he was throughout a lot of the saves after the saves he's made. Fantastic saves. He can't celebrate that because they've only got to him because his team have absolutely completely fucked up, like not marking people as usual. So I think that we just really need to concentrate on getting our defence sorted.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know, like, everyone knows, whoever follows me on Twitter will know that I'm not the Lascelles' biggest fan. And I do still think there's an element of organisation missing when he's not there, despite him not probably being the best defender that we've got, because I don't think he is. But yeah, there still is an element of organisation missing when he's not there. I don't know whether that's to do with the defence in general, whether it's to do with the fact Shelby's captain and he's not organising everybody as they should because he can't see the game from the back, right? Lascelles can't. I don't know what it is. Probably a mixture of both. But Sav, what did you think? Obviously, as I said, we have all spoken and we know what everyone thought. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the game?
Do you know what? The first few minutes, Leicester had all the possession and I thought, oh my God, we're going to get hammered here. And then all of a sudden, it was like the mentality changed. And on the counter-attack, actually, we were really throwing it forward and not in that disorganised, sort of disjointed way that we normally do, where, you know, when you know as soon as they start going forward that we're never going to get anything out of it. Like, it was like the players' confidence was there and the ability to finish, and they were all throwing themselves forward rather than sitting back and being frightened to run at Leicester. And, yeah, the first half was really enjoyable. It's like watching a different side completely to what we've been used to. Second half was a little bit hairy here and there. But honest to God, when we went 4-0 up, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I don't know what I'm watching anymore. I've never actually watched us and felt comfortable. Actually, no, even at 4-0, I didn't feel comfortable, to be fair. Yeah. I was still like, this could go horribly wrong. And then they got the one goal in. I was like, oh, God. Because it's like we got to sort of 4-0 and then we sort of relaxed a little bit and sat back and tried to just defend that 4-0. But from watching previous performances, we all know that sitting back and trying to defend doesn't work for us because we can't defend. So I think that, you know, the last 20 minutes or so were really uncomfortable. When they said it was 4-minute stoppage time, I was like, oh my God, I'm not sure I can take 4 minutes. The second goal went in. I thought, here we go, we're going to lose this. We're just going to do a complete Newcastle. But no, it was great to watch. I think that there was some real, I'm going to sound like Steve Bruce, there was some real positives to be taken from it. But yeah, no, I just hope that we continue to play on. I'm like Sam, I don't expect anything from Man City, to be fair. If we did get something, that would just be a bonus. You know, we might be feeling quite confident now that we've had a nice little win against Leicester. You never know. But yeah, hopefully I'm feeling quite comfortable where we are. I can't see Fulham winning all their final games to be able to have anything to answer with. So I'll say this, I'm not going to jinx it. Hopefully they won't. I mean, how can they? I don't think they will. But yeah, so hopefully I'm hoping that we're sitting all right for next season. But I really can't stand another season of this though.
No, I can't. Like, honestly, funnily enough, you sound like Steve Bruce, but actually yesterday, I keep saying yesterday, freaking hell, Friday actually was the first time there was positives to take from something, and it made us annoyed because I was like, why, where's that been forever? Like, I know we've had like kind of sections where say Maximin's been injured or Wilson's been injured or, you know, Fraser's been out or whatever, like we in attacking wise, but where's that been all of the season? Like, we only in the past 5 or 6 games have we actually shown a want and desire, ignoring Arsenal, shown a want and desire to actually go out and win a game, and it just frustrated us that was like, where has that been? Because there's not really any reason why that couldn't have been done way sooner. But I must admit, oh my God, at the end I thought, I kept saying to myself, right, it's 2-0, 3-0, I'll be happy, I'll sit back, I won't be as worried, because I always think, I have this theory that you need to have at least a 3-goal lead to be comfortable in a game. And then it was 4, and I was like, oh, we'll be all right now. Then they scored, and I was like, is it going to be another Arsenal? Like, is it going to be Arsenal against us this time? Like, is it going to go their way instead? But no, we ended up holding on at the end, and only probably due to Martin Dubravka's absolute world-class save to deny Jose Perez, because when that happened, I thought, oh my God, it's typical. It's typical that he's going to be the one to score, and he never, because obviously Martin Dubravka was absolutely on fine form on Friday. So got a couple of comments in here as well from obviously people who they're man of the matches and things like that, which leads us nicely into our next topic, because we're all going to make a case for the most outstanding players in the game on Friday. And obviously I know Wilson will be up there, Martin Dubravka and Paul Dummett. Anybody else who I've missed? Richie.
How could you forget him?
I know.
She's getting pissed off with you already.
Anyways, Robert Dowie here as well. He says that he thought Richie was fantastic. Wish I can find it, because my streaming app does this thing sometimes, like scrolls right down the bottom of the comments, and it drives us insane because I miss all the comments. Yeah, he thought Richie was brilliant. Richie's ball for the 3rd goal was the season for me.
Beautiful.
Sav Bruce. Someone said Sav Bruce. That made us laugh. A couple of people are actually saying some of the passes were great, which is something that we've been missing, because Shelby for us used to be the passer of the ball. Like, that was his element of gameplay that, in my opinion, I think he's lost lately, because he's just, I don't know if it's his form or whether he's just done at this kind of level now, but yeah, whether or not we know. So going at the man of the match, we're all going to make a case for the person that we think should be man of the match. Everyone's probably going to know who I'm going to pick, because if I move my head properly, he's here. Yeah, but I won't go first. I'll go last. And Katie, I'll let you go first. Tell everyone who was your man of the match, why was your man of the match, and just make a case for him, because, you know, this is what we do on this show. It's like Judge Judy. It's a bit. No,
My
Judge Judy
match?
doesn't debate. Hold on. Who debates? I don't know. QI. Go on.
No, we are. It is debate. My man of the match is Steve Bruce. I'm joking. My man of the...
I was like, this wasn't in the script.
We don't have a script. Mine is...
I nearly saw death on camera there.
Mine is Dubravka. He was literally outstanding, and he's always outstanding, isn't he? But his performance was second to none, especially if you consider how long he's actually been out injured for, and the fact that he didn't come back straight away. He was literally all over the defense as well. The saves against, he's got what was a head from that guy. What's his name? I can't say his name. Fofana.
Oh, Fofana.
Oh, mind you, can't say half of the fucking names. The fact that he got 2 literally with Perez towards the end, which that first one was absolutely beautiful. I just think he was absolutely spot on. I like the fact that he does get pissed off with the defense, even if he saves it, or even if it goes wide, he's proper going at them all the time. If it wasn't for him, they would have easily equalised because we were making so many silly mistakes in defence. So just based purely on his saving, even the one with the one that he got, like, was it Vardy who tried to just get it just above him? Oh no, you can't do that. No. So 100% Dubravka. I know for a long time I was very much like, I want Darlow to stay. I know that Dubs is better than Darlow, but I just wanted Darlow to get into England. So 100%. I generally think that if it wasn't for him, we would be probably facing relegation on a very, very uphill battle. Very much so. So yeah. That's my sort of case, but yeah, he's fucking amazing. So he's the fucking man of the match in my eyes.
That's all you need to know. If anyone wanted to know what kind of keeper Dubravka was, because I think he has been slightly shaky for some reason in a couple of games. His distribution's been a little bit poor in the last few games, but otherwise, he's solid. And if anyone wants to know what kind of keeper he is on most days, that would be a great advertisement for a keeper, honestly. Sam, who was your man of the match, and tell us why they were your man of the match.
Yeah, so I went a wee bit against the grain, brilliant team performance, but I don't know whether I chose it because of the tweet that I saw that just made my day. But mine is Paul Dummett, because he leapt like a salmon for that goal. And honestly, I just think, last week or against Arsenal, I was very much of the opinion that I would sell everyone.
It's just loading.
There
you go.
Yeah, so Richie's corner, Dummett's up like a salmon, heading it into goal. But I just think he was really good. He really complimented Richie in letting him get forward a little bit. We just don't have anywhere near that balance on the right-hand side. He tries to keep it simple. I think Fernandez has been a wee bit underperforming recently as well. But he gives so much passion, so much balance. And although we were shaky towards the end, I was so delighted for him getting a goal because he's been out for so long. And he's kind of had to work so hard for his Newcastle career. Pardew wanted to get rid of him, said he wasn't good enough. And, he's a left back that plays centre back a lot for us. And he's kind of lost where he should be. He retired from international duty so that he could focus on Newcastle. So he loves the club. And I just thought it was such good performance. And the goal, as I said, I was just so happy for him. It was an understated performance. You've got the big stars in our team. And then you've got people like Dummett that will just always, he might not be the most technically gifted footballer, but he will give 100% for the shirt. So that's why he was my man of the match.
That was beautiful. I genuinely feel quite emotional after that. I'd also like to say, just to go back here, that Dubravka had a lot of passion, a lot of balance. He's put a lot into the team. And obviously he's had to work very hard for his place in the team and everything apart from the international duty, because obviously he still does that. So yeah.
Stop trying to win. I was like, what's going on?
Like, it's just who you wanted to have. She's like, right, I'm gonna sit.
But also, do you not think that the cutest thing ever was how happy was he? Like after he'd scored, he just looked like as if to say, "Look how high I got."
Yeah.
Oh, I was so proud of him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, obviously, this was the situation. I saw it on Twitter first, so I was fully like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited to see this!" And it was everything I ever dreamt of it. But yeah, still, Dubravka probably would have saved it if that was the other way around. That's the kind of guy that he is.
Really? Really? That's so good. Okay, everyone in the comments, let us know who your man of the match obviously was. And we'll go on to you, Sav. Who was your man of the match? Obviously, we did mention it a couple of minutes ago, so everyone probably knows who Sav's going to pick. But yeah, who was your man of the match, Sav?
Do you know what? I wish I wrote down notes, but I should have written a speech. Well, I've left my notes downstairs, so they're by the by. I realised that when I logged on. I was like, oh, but But yeah, I think, you know, to be awfully predictable, I'm going to say for me, it was Matt Ritchie. Obviously, for a little while, he was absolutely robbed of his place on the pitch by Steve Bruce because they'd had a little row. And I think since he's come back, he's done everything he can to try and prove Steve Bruce wrong for sitting him on that bench for so long. And his work rate is just brilliant right now. He's never, ever going to be, you know, world class, let's say, but you will always get a shift out of him and he will always give it 100%. And the through balls that he was passing on Friday night were just amazing. You know, he had a couple of assists. He was running around screaming for the entire match. And, you know, everyone always says he should be captain. And I do actually think he'd make a far better captain than, say, Shelby does. I don't really see him shouting about anything or organising anyone. He struggles to organise himself. But, yeah, I think that Matt Ritchie is the captain that we've needed, you know, in the absence of Lascelles. I'd argue that maybe he'd be better than Lascelles at being captain anyway. But, yeah, he just put in an amazing shift on Friday, as he has been recently. And, you know, when he gets the crosses that he puts in, I think, well, on my notes somewhere, I think it was that he had the most touches and crosses of any Newcastle player on Friday night. And I think, you know, he did have a bit of a dodgy free kick at one point, but we can scrub that for what he did the rest of the match because he put in an amazing shift. And yeah, I definitely think he should win, but I'm not going to interrupt everyone like Katie to prove my point because I don't have to.
So you don't that ball though that he played.
Picking our run.
Shut up.
Yeah, who's
that ball he played though was
pointing the wrong way. That went well. Yeah, but I was pointing the wrong way, so that just went really well. Bottled it completely, and Brendan Rodgers.
That ball he played there was perfect. It was absolutely beautiful.
Really good.
Absolutely
but
beautiful.
After the third goal, I think fourth goal.
I think it was.
Now. But yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. And that's what we need. That's what Jamal Lewis didn't do that for me because defensively Jamal Lewis wasn't great.
I think he needs to play in a different style sort of tactic though. Yeah. He's not good at defending. Like we were sitting all back and expecting him to defend when he was playing for Norwich, who play a completely different style of football. But yeah, I mean, I heard a rumour. I'm not changing the subject very quickly. I did hear a rumour that apparently we might be going after Max Aarons and sending Jamal Lewis back to Norwich. But I don't know how true that was.
There's no way. Like Barca were looking at Max Aarons and his value is about 40 million. So yeah. I saw that and just thought, and also if you're Max Aarons and you're looking at what just happened with Jamal Lewis under Steve Bruce, do you want to go and be managed by him? There's no way.
Sorry, she's just looking at herself on the laptop screen. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah, I mean, I would have loved Max Aarons because I thought that we really, really needed cover at right back, especially when Yedlin went. But if we're going to play a wing back system, I mean, Max Aarons would still fit into that role, but I honestly think that, you know, the way things are going, that's probably not even going to be a position they're going to look at. That's how I feel. But fingers crossed they do. I mean, Max Aarons would be a great signing, but Sam, I completely agree with you. I can't see us forking out 4 million for Max Aarons. We'll end up going for like Brandon Williams on loan or like something like that. That is a typical Newcastle move. Anyway, obviously, no one's going to win man of the match because the game's already been played. No one's going to win. Obviously, anyone in the comments, if you want to put your man of the match in there, let us know. But guess who did win man of the match? Callum Wilson, which is always good. Katie's like, oh, really? Callum Wilson did win man of the match and obviously got us 2 goals. I thought yesterday he was really, really
Not
good.
Yesterday.
Look, right, if I say yesterday, anyone who's watching, if I say yesterday, I mean Friday. I'm really sorry. I'm mixed up with my days and I don't know what I'm on about. It felt like I was watching it yesterday, though. That's why it's really strange. Can you stop doing like a weird kitten voice?
Sad.
Are you sad? Oh, well, that's just...
She's sad because she wants to Bradford. She wanted to Bradford to get one of the match. It's all right,
no, but Callum Wilson obviously got us a 2 goals. I thought it was really back to Callum Wilson's best yesterday. Obviously the goal where it rebounded and he actually did score was unreal. He is not right now because obviously he has had 2 long-term injuries and he hasn't really been in the best side, if you will, to show what he can do. I think if he was in like a Aston Villa, for example, he would be way better. But yeah, I just thought it was really, really good yesterday, and I really think that he is a striker. These hours, like I'm not going to include Rondon in that, because obviously he wasn't our player. But if we include Wilson in that because we have signed him, then I think he's probably one of the best strikers we've had at the club since obviously Alan Shearer, since Papa Cisse. He's up there for me in terms of number 9. And can you be quiet, please, Dan? I'll start you out in a second. And you're really sad, oh, so Ma. I'm sad that you're sad, okay? Okay. And yeah, so Callum Wilson got it at the end of the day. Obviously, he was always going to be my case, but I thought Dubravka had a great game. All of you girls literally have chose the greatest one. But this does lead nicely with Callum Wilson into our next topic, which I did see on Twitter as well yesterday.
Hang on.
What?
I just have one more thing to add. It's not about Dubravka.
What have you thought to add?
With Wilson, the one thing that I absolutely adore of him is he doesn't take his eye off that ball until it's in that net. Because the other week, on that goal that was disallowed, I'm sure that was a bounce back as well, and he went for it again. And that's the one thing that I absolutely love, because you'll see so many players who will do it and they will miss the opportunity to get it back because they're obviously not paying that much attention to it. But he doesn't stop, and that's the one thing that I absolutely adore about him.
The accuracy when he chipped that in as well after that rebounded was amazing. I still can't work out how he got that in the net.
Magical.
Just that reflex as well. Like he didn't even usually you see players thinking about it. He didn't even think about it. Just straight in the back of the net.
And again, that's another player that has been out off injured, and this is what he's come back like. Fantastic. I genuinely just I look forward to watching him play.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, everyone knows that I look forward to watching him play, but for both reasons, for aesthetic reasons and also footballing reasons. So yeah, it is that. But yeah, obviously Callum Wilson got it. He scored 2 goals, so he's probably more than likely going to get it. But in my opinion, Dubravka would be my second choice. Katie, not to make your head.
That's because she argued the point so much.
I know you weren't allowed to pick anyone else, were you? Because she did. Dubravka.
I'm going to try having his back up here so my format fall with more excitement soon.
Oh God almighty. Well, it's happened twice now, so 3rd time's a charm. Yeah, so as I say, this leads nicely on our next topic. Obviously, I did see a tweet on Twitter. I can't remember who wrote it, so sorry, I would credit you if I knew who it was, but I really can't remember who it was now. But there was a debate going on Twitter last night, and it was if you could have either Salomon Rondon or Callum Wilson as the number 9 at the club, who would you have? And people are going to be like, oh, well, you're obviously going to choose Wilson. Yes, I am going to choose Wilson, honestly, but I have reasons why I'm going to choose Wilson. First of all, he is in a Steve Bruce side that has played absolute horrendous football for coming up 2 years in a couple of months. Only the last 5 or 6 games, obviously after the introduction of Graham Jones, possibly because the first 3 games when Graham Jones came in, we played pretty well as well, because we had Everton at that time. And arguably, this is probably, well, we've had some crap, we've had some dross, but this is probably one of the worst footballing Newcastle sides I've seen for a lot of years. Even when we went down the first time, it's worse than that. Only for me, probably McLaren in recent times could maybe get there. But yeah, Callum Wilson's been in a Steve Bruce side that doesn't play attack and football usually. He's been having service from the likes of, not to bring up Joe Linton because he really isn't my enemy, me number 1 enemy right now. I think he's been doing all right. But an off-form John Joe Shelby, Sean Longstaff, St. Martin's been injured for a lot of it. Jeff Hendrick was in there at some points. And for me, he just epitomized everything we needed, as I say, of a number 9 that we need a striker, and he's doing so well in a season where we personally haven't. So for me, that's why I would always choose Callum Wilson, but that's not to take away from Salomon Rondon whatsoever, because I loved Rondon. I really was gutted when he left and we didn't sign him again. Obviously despite Rafa leaving and stuff, but I really wanted to sign him again and we never did. So, and unfortunately, his career's never really topped it since then. I think is he at CSKA in Moscow now? I think he is. Or he's at someone like that. And obviously in China he was doing pretty well as well with Rafa back as a manager. So yeah, that's why I would choose Wilson. But Katie, if you could have Rondon or Wilson, who would you have?
Just before I answer, it was NUFC Hotspot who put the tweet out. So if anyone wants to actually go and join in the Dartford debate on Twitter, it's NUFC Hotspot. Wilson, simply because he's a better finisher. I'm pretty certain he's obviously got more goals than the last time Rondon was in our team for the season. I'm pretty certain he has. He's a better finisher, and he's got more pace and he's got more wits about him. I loved Rondon, and to be honest, it wasn't before we signed Wilson. It was a case of we probably won't get anyone better than him, but Wilson's another class. He's literally obsessed with scoring goals, and he'll have been pissed off that he didn't get 3 at that game, and he got 2. So 100% Wilson.
Do you think, this is for everyone by the way, do you think that Rondon, how can I word it? Do you think there was a kind of slight loving for Rondon because he played under Rafa? Do you think that if we had Rondon under Steve Bruce, we would still like have that kind of affinity towards him? Or do you think it was because of the player that he was, or because of the team that he was under, obviously in the Rafa era, because it was the last time that we were all like pretty happy about it?
It's a fucking hard question. I think it's hard because obviously the team, there's been some games where Wilson's basically been non-existent because he's been left out on his own. So the team that we've had this season, really, to be fair, I think Rondon would have been the exact same. He wouldn't have got anywhere near as many goals, and he would have been left out probably on his own. He doesn't have the pace that Wilson has to get involved and bring them back so much. So I don't necessarily think it's because of Rafa, but I think that the team obviously plays a massive part in it. Obviously, one of the biggest people within that team is Dubravka, who would have made a huge difference somehow to the striker.
Yeah.
I'm still going for it.
I know. I'm getting there. I'm getting the vibes that you think that there's some money on the line or something here, but there isn't. No competition. We're not winning £10,000 because we're getting man of the match or anything. I wish there was, but no, there isn't. Okay, so
I'd
you're
rather
all right.
that freaking pink shirt than fucking 10 grand. I want that freaking shirt that I can't ever
You
have.
can't get it. Fair. You really still can't get it. Anyway, I look all the time. You can't get it, and I refuse to buy it from Sports Direct. I just refuse.
Well, I spoke to the club to find out because I figured if it's gonna go anywhere first, it's gonna go to the club. And I spoke to them probably just after Christmas, and they said they haven't got any and they have no plans of getting any. So basically now Sav needs to send me hers.
I warned you when it was going low in stock. I did say it's selling out. You thought you had time. You left it too late.
Shut up. I don't know what to say.
Simple as. No, but yeah, maybe not. But Sam, what about you? Would you rather have Rondon or Wilson?
It's really tough. I loved Rondon, and I think he had a tough start. And we didn't have a lot of quality in the team, and I thought his partnership with Perez was just unbelievable. He's more of a team player than Wilson. Wilson's an amazing finisher, but I do think he's a more selfish player, and he can struggle to get into the game if we're just not at it. Whereas I don't think Rondon had as much of an issue with that because he was just a harder worker, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I can't choose between them. If we're going for natural finishing, it would be Wilson. He's also English. You know, you would love him to have any sort of an opportunity to go to the Euros. I can't see it happening, but like one last opportunity. But it depends on the players that you have around him.
What do you think? Sam? What do you think they'd be like if they played together?
Like split strikers, false tens.
Yeah.
I think they'd be really good together. And I would like to see us play 2 up front because you've got that hard work, you've got that target man, you've got that focus, and you've got Wilson's natural ability. He also likes running the channel as well. He reminds me so much on Shearer, and I think that's what I love about him because he does work hard in other ways. So I think they would have been perfect together, but it's never going to happen. I would just say at the minute, probably off the back of what happened on Friday, I would go with Wilson, because we would be nowhere without him. We've got maybe 3 players in our team that we'd be relegated without sight. It would be Dubravka, St. Maximin, and Wilson. We would just be gone.
Yeah, Dubravka. Yeah, I hear you.
She's not giving this up if she's not giving it up. You are so competitive. I'm just like, yeah, Wilson. She's like, Dubravka, right? Passion. Sav came with notes. I'm just here like, yeah, Wilson. Like, that was just but Sav, what about you? Would you rather have Wilson or Rondon? I know it's a hard question, and someone's going to be annoyed at it either way. But who would you rather have?
Yeah, I agree with what's already been said. It's a tough one, but I just keep coming back to the conclusion that Wilson is in a Steve Bruce side. He's fed off scraps a lot of the time because we're unable to get the ball forward, and he's still managed to score quite a few goals for us. How many is it? 12 now? Is it 12 this season?
Could be 12 now.
Yeah. So to score 12 goals when we can't score goals is actually really impressive. And he is very clinical with his finishing, and like Katie said earlier, he never takes his eye off the ball. And he's always seems to be hungry for it. Rondon did an amazing job. I just couldn't see him being able to be fed off those scraps and have the same amount of goals that Wilson has achieved. So could you imagine if we actually played attacking football, how Wilson would be? So
all we've asked for all season, though, all we've asked for is them to try and attack and not sit back and park the lorry, as I call it, not park the bus, because we park way more than that. But park the lorry football, and we have been, and look how happy we are, and the results are coming with it. So it should have been done very sooner.
See, the thing is like the thing about the Steve Bruce thing, because people were like, a lot of people said to me, I got called, what was it? Was it a Muppet or something? Because they were like, oh, you can eat in your words now about Steve Bruce. I'm not detracting anything away from Steve Bruce. Whatever has happened, and it's changing. But it does coincide with Graham Jones coming in and the change in formation and the change of the attitude to how we play. Now, I'm not saying that's down to Graham Jones. I don't know. I just think that's very coincidental.
Yeah.
The thing is that none of us will ever know what it's like, because none of us are in the training until someone speaks out about it from the team. No one will ever know what it is. The thing is with Bruce is that I will tell you that he's a good manager as soon as I have a consistent performance like yesterday for more than...
You said yesterday. You moaned at Kendall for it. Now you're doing it.
I said at the beginning of the beginning of the stream, I didn't know what day it was. So shut up. So if Steve Bruce can show months, not just a few games, it needs to be months and seasons of a performance, then I will turn it around with it. But until then, but we've also had really shoddy performances, and at the same time, is that Bruce and Jones? Is that Jones? Is that who? We don't have a fucking clue. At the end of the day, the guys are on the pitch and they need to perform. Simple as.
So that obviously a kind of a next point, because as like you, Sav, I've been called out on this on Twitter several times. You hate Steve Bruce, you're just going to moan at Steve Bruce, not what he does. You always find an excuse to not credit Steve Bruce. But honestly, like the way that we've played in the last couple of games, ignoring Arsenal, because Arsenal was an absolute shambles. Like it was literally a shit show against Arsenal. However, most of the time, he seems to have a really good relationship with Joe Willock. I don't know whether that's just kind of what we're seeing or if it's the truth, but he does on the surface look like he has a good relationship with Joe Willock. I know that he's made some comments, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, that it might be hard to keep hold of Joe Willock in the summer. I don't know whether that's kind of, putting the feelers out as to say, guys, we're not getting Joe Willock, basically, which wouldn't be a surprise, would it? Because as we've said, we never hold on decent loan players when we have them. And plus Arsenal will be wanting at least 20 million and probably more like 25 with, young English player attack. And they're kind of in a situation where they need the money now. They need to rebuild their squad. But yeah, Steve Bruce, in my opinion, deserves a little bit of credit for the past couple of results. too little, too late, though. Also, in my opinion, it's took us till the last section of the season after his 2 seasons in charge to actually go out and do something and look like we're playing and look like we want to play. And that's not just him to blame, that's the players to blame as well. But do you think Steve Bruce deserves a bit of credit? Do you think like a bit like me and that it is too little too late, or do you think he should get his flowers now?
Hello, we're still not safe from relegation. You can't give him credit. We're scrambling still. I know obviously the chances are is that we are safe, but we shouldn't be saying, oh my gosh, we're safe, this is amazing. Yes, it is amazing for the situation we are, but we should be aiming every single season to get higher than we were, to get back to the games that we were playing in the performances on a regular basis, and to get more points, not to beat the points by like 1 or 2 or to match the place. And until a manager comes in and does that, they won't get any credit for it, in my opinion. And that might sound harsh, but they get paid a hell of money for this stuff, and they've been in football for a very long time, and they need to. It's like, have you watched The Entertainers? Like Keegan, he literally was like, he wanted to come in and to make a difference and to change the club, and that's what every single manager must want to do. And there's been no change. We've stayed mediocre, playing the most up and down roller coaster performances on a regular basis. So no, unfortunately, I don't hate Steve Bruce as a person. I don't know him. I don't wish bad things on him. But in my opinion, he's very much Championship League One level, not Prem.
Yeah. 100% championship for me. Championship League One for me, 100%.
And it'll be less stressful for him. The guy goes bright red constantly, and I'm very worried about his health. Just as a human being, that's my humanity side of it.
I just don't like him. I don't like him. I don't think he's good enough. I think the season's been an absolute shit show. I think he's blamed everybody, absolutely everybody.
What did you say?
He's blamed everybody.
I was blamed. I thought you said bullied. I was like, I don't know what that word means.
He wants to be people's friends, then he throws other people under the bus. We had 20 points before Christmas. We've just managed to get to 39 now. And if you take it that step further, he was in charge of transfers over the summer. And Wilson's the only one that's worked out. Fraser hasn't been fit. Hendricks has been appalling. And Jamal Lewis, I don't know what has happened to him. He's just nowhere. So if you start bringing everything into it, he's been given full control. He's been given money for transfers. He's changed tactics so many times, blamed everyone, tried to build absolutely no relationship with the fans whatsoever, and hidden behind fans being out of the stadium because of COVID. I really want him to walk away in the summer because we can't go through another season of this. And I think even if his people management is good, his in-game management and his club management are shit. And I hate him and all the Steves on the sideline. I can't believe another coach had to be brought in to help him do his job better so that we wouldn't be relegated.
Well, the only club who would do that, aren't we? Get another coach instead of sacking the head one. Just the only club who would do that.
There's no progression and no hint of progression, and I would not give him another transfer window because I worry about who he's going to try and bring in. And one of the problems we have with our squad is the mentality. Rafa had to work so hard to get them to be really focused on a game. And Steve Nixon is head of the recruitment team. They're obviously getting the wrong players with the wrong mentality that these managers are having to work so fucking hard on to get them to do the basics in a game to be Premier League level. I don't think that we can have another season of him because I think the club is bigger than him. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but there's just so much hard work that needs to be done to keep our club in the Premier League. and I just don't think he's capable of it. And as Katie said, you know, jokes aside, he looks so ill and unwell, and you know, I just can't wait to see how the fans react to him again in the Sheffield United game, because as I said, he's escaped it for 18 months.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I want to be there just to see what it's like to see what fans do and how they react, because we've waited over a year now to get our say on this horrendous, you know, last year, obviously the last season especially, but I want to be there just to see what people do. But you know, like when you're in a situation, things are really awkward and you get like secondhand embarrassment. Like I feel like that's what's going to happen. Like I'm going to be sitting and people's going to be like chucking cabbages and that, and I'm just going to be like, oh god, like, and I just will get just such secondhand embarrassment, and I'll feel so awkward, and then I'll feel really sorry for him. But that's just because I'm just like, not because I feel sorry for him, but just because I feel sorry for like the situation. And our fans can be so unforgiving at times.
But the other thing I want to say is, you know, for everyone on Twitter criticizing our opinions, I'm not going to apologize for the opinion that I have on Steve Bruce. It's my opinion. And, you know, I won't degrade him in any way, but it's okay for me to say I don't want him to be manager of our football club and give rational reasons as to why I don't. If you don't agree with it, just ignore it. You don't need to get into a battle. You cannot change the way that somebody thinks or feels. So stop trying to do it.
Preach to the choir, Sam, because you know what? All the times I think to myself, people are like to me, like today, obviously I did BBC Radio 5 Live, the squad on BBC Radio 5 Live. I will tweet the link out if anyone wants to listen into that later on. And I said, you know, Joe Willock has practically single-handedly saved our season at this point and I meant with his goals, because he's won us and drawn us games where we wouldn't have otherwise. Look how bad we were against Arsenal. The only person that was missing was him. I don't know whether that was us or him missing, I don't know. But someone underneath is like, oh, this is why Newcastle fans get called embarrassing. And I'm like, okay, have I said anything like wildly off the spectrum? Like, what have I said? It's my opinion. Twitter is an opinion platform. It's not a factual platform. It's not, let's go on here and write facts. It's an opinion platform. And why people get annoyed at other people's opinion is, honestly, I will never understand, and it'll be absolutely baffling till the end of my days, because I just don't get it.
That's exactly it, though. Like, I know a couple of comments come along the bottom. I'm not keen on Lewis Hamilton. There's a big backstory behind it, behind the fact that I really love Michael Schumacher, and I'm really upset that he's breaking his records, and it's bringing out the bitterness in me. It would be like if Harry Kane took Alan Shearer's record. It just upsets me, and I have to be bitter about it, and I can be a little bit vocal about it. But people dive in like they're going to change my mind, and suddenly, like, the next race, I'm going to be Lewis Hamilton's biggest fan because someone has told me on Twitter that actually he is the best and I'm wrong. That's not what it is. I'd say 90% of people are really respectful and just laugh at me. But everyone else, there are some people that get really irate and start getting, you know, borderline a little bit bullish over it. And I'm just like, calm down. We're all allowed our opinion. You know, I feel that my opinion is as valid as anyone else's. And I respect people's opinion who say that Lewis Hamilton is the best driver ever because that's how they feel. I just don't feel the same way. So it's just that.
Look how many times we've disagreed.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't mean that I'm going to start like then attacking you.
Only behind the scenes, Katie. Only behind the scenes.
I've not attacked any of you for not agreeing with Dubravka at all. No, I have sent you all glitter letters. I haven't actually sent you glitter letters. I'm not a child. Just because I really want to get this into the conversation, and just looking at the time, I've got one for you. So obviously, we want to sign Willock, and we have the issue with the fact that Arsenal might want to keep him, and we probably wouldn't put the money out for him. But what would you guys have Armstrong back or Ivan Toney?
Well, actually, Barry did ask the same question. After we finished that conversation, I was going to cover a couple of the viewer questions because there was a few in there of different things. So obviously, we'll start off with Barry's question there. And Katie's tricky question, Barry, sorry, you can have the credit though, Barry. Not gonna lie, because you did send it at 7:45 p.m. So you can have the
I
credit.
tweeted it
We're not doing it.
the other day. I think I tweeted it yesterday. But Barry, I will give you the credit because you deserve the credit, Barry, and that isn't
Nice.
sarcasm at all, or the fact that
That's
Kendall's
such a
a
Gary. Barry.
Barry, name right,
Sorry,
Barry.
Gary. Sorry, Gary again. I said Gary again. Barry. Sorry, Barry. Because I'm not going to Greg above, so I said Gary. But yeah, Barry. Do you think we should get Armstrong back? Okay. For me, no. That's my simple answer. That's my honest answer. Not because I think we're too good for him, and not because I think he wouldn't do well, but I believe that at times, yes, he had a minimal amount, but he did have his chances under Rafa Benitez a couple of times, and he didn't do that much, in my opinion. The Championship, I think people underestimate it. So Man United fans or, Everton fans, people who haven't been relegated in the last 15, 20 years will not understand the complete and utter difference in level between the Championship and the Premier League. And yes, you see teams like Brentford and, Norwich coming straight back up and things like that. But genuinely, playing in the Premier League every week is a completely different kettle of fish to playing in the Championship every week. And he might score goals in the Premier League. That's not what I'm saying. But will he get, his 20 plus goal tally in the Premier League? I highly doubt it. If we were going to get anyone back, for me, it would be Ivan Toney over Adam Armstrong. But again, we didn't really see much at the club. But yeah, for me, probably not. I wouldn't be going there. I know we have a percentage off a buyback clause, but I don't think that will be where I'll be looking personally for me. What about you lot?
I would have them back. 40% discount. I would give them Gail. One of my other best friends is a Blackburn supporter, so I wouldn't want to leave them without anyone. But Tony's just too good for us, and he's going to cost too much money. Our other options are Carl and Gail. Armstrong's only 25. I feel like he has been around for like 15 years.
Was he from the academy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
So, I mean, when you're looking at the options that we have, do I feel like we could turn our nose up if Armstrong wanted to come back to the club, given the money that we'll have, the fact that we can get discount on the deal, he's an English player, he's young enough, yada, yada, yada. It would be a definite yes for me. Tony, I would take back, but there's just absolutely no chance whatsoever.
Teams wanting Tony, I think, definitely.
Yeah, but if Brentford come up, I think he'll give them a season in the Premier League, which will give clubs a good chance to look at how he gets on.
Yeah.
And then that's just going to keep bumping the value.
100%. Sav?
Yeah, I think it just completely depends on who's managing, because I don't know if he'd flourish under Steve Bruce. Who does really? Let's be honest. I'm sort of on the fence on it. I get both of your arguments about it, but if we had a more positive, proactive manager, and there has been, which I've not seen before since Steve Bruce has been at the club, rumours circulating that we're looking at managers at the moment, and that's the first time since he's been in charge that I've seen that start to happen. Whether or not it's just all hot air, most of it is, isn't it? Like when we was going to have Dele Alli on loan and stuff. But, I think if we did have a more proactive manager, then yeah, definitely. Because as Sam said, he's still young enough. And if he's got the right manager behind him, then he could flourish in the Premier League. But not Steve Bruce, because everyone goes backwards under him.
Yeah. Even like Haaland or Messi would...
Yeah.
They would have Messi playing it right back. Like, that's just how...
They'd be on the bench after a few games. They'd be useless.
I think they just refuse to play, to be fair. It's probably like, I'm not playing this kind of fucking football.
Did you see that thing that Jack Grealish said a little while ago about in training, he'd turn up and throw the ball in the middle and go, let's play?
Yeah.
Just imagine him doing it as well.
Honestly.
I personally would take him. I would take Armstrong. I'll take both of them, but I would take Armstrong. He's a local lad. I obviously have the whole dream of getting another Shearer, so it would be like that. But I think he would actually flourish under Maxi, both Maxi and Wilson. I've watched a few Blackburn games because my boss is a Blackburn fan. And at times, I know obviously it's not demonstrated in their actual performance in the actual championship, but even when they played us in the cup, they play sort of more towards Prem football. They're just not that good at keeping the goals out, to be fair. They need obviously a better defence on it. But realistically, we probably wouldn't get him. But I like the idea, the fact that we could get him cheaper, because obviously there's that 40%. He is what he is, like 24 years old. He is a local lad. I think he would be a perfect switch over for Gale. I don't think Blackburn would actually like to have Gale, but Gale's clearly proved that he's not interested in us. So I would 100% take him.
Yeah, 100. If it's going to be a case of like swapping Gale for him, then I mean, there's not really any. You can't really say no to that, because I mean, Gale exactly hasn't cut it. What we're not going to miss out on anything by doing that, because Gale hasn't exactly lit up, the league or our team for a good few seasons now. So, well, just for the last couple of minutes, we'll just go into a couple of questions. I know people have had questions and I haven't clicked on them. Greg asks, if Miggy wants to be, would you sell it to fund Willock? And this kind of leads on to Doug's question as well, who said, do you think you'll get Willock on a permanent deal? For me, something in me tells me that, especially under Bruce Miggy has been wanting to go for maybe since last summer. Even before that, there was an interest from Atletico Madrid. There's been a lot of La Liga interest in him. And 1 second, please. And obviously, if we're talking about tangible assets, for me, Miggy is one of them, along with St. Maximin. And if we're going to lose one of them, personally, for me, I would rather lose Miggy. Not that I want to lose any of them, because I love Miggy and I love Maxi, both of them. But if we're going to lose any of them, if that's going to be coming down to it and that's a choice, then it will be Miggy for me. If we're going to fund Joe Willock, the thing is, we just don't have the squad depth to really lose anybody at this point. We kind of need to get people in before we lose any of the really good players. But I would just like to keep Miggy, and I would like to get Willock, if that's an option. Is that an option? Because that is what I would like to do. But what about you? Would you get rid of Miggy if fund Willock, or would you just literally rather not have Willock, or rather have them both? I know what everyone's going to say about that, but yeah, what about you?
I don't want to answer that question.
I think we're desperate for a central midfielder. Desperate. I love Almiron, but he's not playing in a natural position. And if that doesn't change, then you need to have a Willock in the team. So I would hate for Almiron to leave. But I think the need for a Willock in our midfield is greater.
Yeah, 100%. Sav?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Sam just said. And also, swapping players about. I know that Arsenal, or I've seen rumours that Arsenal, they want a goalkeeper. So could we do it as part of like a part swap with Darlow, possibly, just to get the price down on him a little bit? The fact that what Steve Bruce said the other day about worrying about how easy it's going to be to get him, I'd at least take him for another season on loan. At the very least, because we're crying out for a player like Willock. I'd hate to see Miggy go. I love Miggy, but I agree with what Sam said. He's not playing his natural position. And for me, recently, he's got a bit lost on the pitch. I know that he puts in the work rate, and you always see him running around, but he's just not there. I don't really know what that's about. I don't know if it's because other key players have come back, so he's faded a little bit, because you've got ASM and Wilson back on the side, but yeah, and as I say, I don't even know if Miggy's happy. Like he's made a couple of little comments, and obviously there was the one by his agent, wasn't it, that was said as well that he was looking to get away. It's difficult to tell because nothing's said to us. But yeah, I'd hate to lose Miggy. I'd be really sad, but I think we definitely need a player like Willock, and he's just shown. I mean, his relationship with the fans, the little messages he puts out, he gets what the club's about. And I think really, by the looks of it, he's kind of relishing in it. He obviously didn't get any of this at Arsenal, and he was sat on the bench and he wasn't massively, used or appreciated. So I suppose coming somewhere and being adored by all the fans straight away, that's got to really lift your confidence. And I kind of hope that he does want to stay and that Arsenal don't want him back, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we'll just end on this question. Who's been your player of the season for the Guys, Katie, I'll go to you first. Who's been your player of the season?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, Miggy, Maxi, Miggy, Maxi, Miggy, Darlow. I don't know.
Are you glitching?
It's hard because if Maxi hadn't been out injured, it would have been Maxi. But Darlow massively stepped up to the look how dark it is now. I can't. There's no point going to put the light on. Because we're going to finish in a minute. Darlow massively stepped up, and I never thought he would do that. It's really hard with the fact that we've been so injury prone this season to pick out the player of the season because no one's really played all season. So if I'm going to go for one that probably played the most of season, it would be Miggy, basically based on his work rate because he puts a shift in. And I know, obviously, I said the other week when I watched the highlights, like it didn't look like he was on the pitch, but for the majority of the games, he's put a shift in. So I'll go for Maxi. Actually, Maxi. I don't know. One of them. Someone who plays for Newcastle is my player of the season. Wilson, actually. I don't know.
See, that's the thing, like, because we have had so many injuries and because we've changed our tactics now, formation and starting 11 so much, it's really hard to pick a player of the season. Do you have one, Sam, or are you a bit on Katie's boat? Like, you really don't know who you would pick?
Callum Wilson, easy.
Okay. Oh, that was simple. Sav, you?
Well, obviously, I know he's currently got a red card, which was very unfair. But
I can't
he
even
has...
see that because the question's in the way. There we go.
Katie, to see better.
Yeah, and he's not around at the moment. But I felt that just before his injury, he started being like the old child that we were used to. And he did stand on camera and say that we were shit, which was the fighting spirit that we needed someone to say, because all the excuses and we're trying our best and there are some positives and we've just been thrashed 5-0. We're just not doing it for me. So, yeah, he's had some honesty. Another one, I'm just really biased. Another one of me is Matt Ritchie, because he called Steve Bruce a coward, which is what we all wanted to do at that very moment in time, probably say worse. So, yeah, the proactive players that aren't afraid to say that actually we've played a little bit shit at quite a lot of points this season are my players of the season.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree. I think Maxi probably up there, but again, missed a lot of games due to injury. I think you could make a case for, I mean, I know we've only had Joe Willock for like half season. He's not even our player, but, that's how much we needed him. I think Jacob Murphy stepped up lately. I think Matt Ritchie stepped up lately. Dubravka, again, but missed the first half of the season. I think it'll be really, really hard to choose player of the season for me, but it's got to be Big Callum. Big Callum for me always, because he's in my heart. Thank you, Magpin, for these amazing badges.
Oh yeah, can I just say this was from a local Raji?
Yeah, if anyone wants to go and check them out.
Obviously, look at the one I've got.
Who have you got? Shira.
Oh, how predictable!
Boxes. I'm too excited.
But yeah, obviously, just while we're on the subject of a local Raji, by the way, there is also got sent this week from a local Raji as well to bottle opener. You can get loads of different designs.
I've got that exact one coming as well.
Yeah, so if you go and please go and check out a local Raji, because he has so much Newcastle United related stuff on there, which is absolutely phenomenal. Face masks, cushions, bottle openers, key rings, anything you could possibly wish for, he's got on there. So 1 second, sorry.
You're not going to be able to see me soon because look how dark it is.
You're going to fall asleep in that dark.
The thing is, though, it's actually quite bright, so I don't know why it's just so dark on the screen.
I had my mum stern face on there. Anyways, I was just like, huh, straight away, but thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for your comments and all the interaction, because it really, really helps us out. And please like and subscribe to our channel as well. Like the video, share it, retweet it on Twitter. We really, really appreciate it. all the support, obviously, with us starting off. So this is episode 4. That's gone really quick, by the way. We're already on episode 4. I actually can't believe that. But thank you, everyone. Everyone's saying great show. Really, really appreciate all of your comments, as I've said, and we're forever grateful for it. So yeah, ladies, if you want to tell everybody where they can find you, please. Sav, we'll go to you first. Where can everyone find you? Social handles, things like that.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Savmondo, and I am on the Away Day show, and I'm here. And straight after this, because I'm going to make sure I'm doing it, I'm recording a little video to open my channel with, which the link is at the top of my profile on Twitter. And I'm not going to sit there and get paranoid over how I look, because I have to look at myself and talk to myself. I'm going to get past it.
Yes,
Go on,
do
Sam.
it. Finally, she's been saying this for about 4 months, longer, and she's finally going to do it. Do it. Yes,
I'm going to do it. I'm going to put up a video tonight. I'm going to do it.
Definitely. Sam, what about you?
Just Twitter at Mumberry. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing Sav's content. Super excited. Will it be available tonight then?
I'm going to try. I'm going to really go for it. It won't be a long one, because I haven't got loads of time. I've got so many videos that I've got ready, but I need to merge them together. So I think I'm just going to do a quick short one, just because people have subscribed to my channel and I've not got anything on there. So I'm going to do it.
Perfect.
Amazing. Get it done. Katie, what about you?
Oh,
That's the wrong way.
I can't see myself. But yeah, that's my Twitter handle. So the place that you can normally find me. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
And if you want to follow the channel's Twitter as well, it is Howay Lasses Pod on Twitter as well. If you just want to, just the same, spelt the same way as the channel name. But yeah, if you want to find me, it's Kendall Rowan on all my socials, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Obviously, find me over at the terrace, the football terrace as well. But if you go on my Twitter profile, everything's there, and everything is. If you want to find me anywhere, not that this probably will, but if you do, it is there available for you to do. But thank you everyone again, and I hope maybe next weekend we're looking at another kind of win. I don't think so, but Man City are probably going to win the league, against us. But it is what it is. The season will hopefully done by then. I'm tired of it. I want the season over. But I hope everybody has a really, really good week, and we'll see you next